Okay, so let's talk about something we've all felt. You're in a team meeting, a fantastic idea starts to take shape, and then you feel it. That quiet, unspoken tension in the air about who really gets the credit for it. Well, today we're going to dive headfirst into that friction and explore a fascinating new way to actually solve it. It seems like such a simple question, right? But it hits on a nerve we all have. Was it the person who first said the words? The one who saw a flaw and fixed it? Or maybe it was the person who connected two totally separate thoughts. This one question. It's the root of so many headaches in how we work together. And in our digital-first work lives, where we're all collaborating through screens, this is way more than just a little annoyance. It creates this thing the source material calls attribution tension. And that tension, it just breeds friction. A subtle underlying competition for who gets seen. And honestly, it can totally kill the creative vibe we're all trying so hard to build. So why is this so tough to fix? I mean, is it just about people having big egos? Well, the research says no, not really. The problem actually goes way deeper. We're running up against a fundamental bottleneck in how our brains are wired. This quote right here just nails it. Our brains, they love simplicity. They try to take this big, messy, complex thing like a new idea and shrink it down to a simple story, one person, one moment of genius. But when it tries to do that with modern collaboration, it just breaks. And as a defense mechanism, we get what's called ego contraction. We kind of shrink back and get protective over our little piece of the pie. So you see the problem, right? It's this total mismatch. Our brain's programming is searching for that one hero, that single person to put on the poster. But the reality of how we actually work is this beautiful, messy web. It's a network where one person's half-baked thought sparks an insight in someone else, which then gets polished by a third person. There is no single author. And this part is absolutely critical. This isn't your fault. It's not about bad intentions or a toxic team. It is a system failure. The tools we use, the way our companies are structured, they're all built for an old model of solo heroes. They just weren't designed for this new networked world. It is, plain and simple, an infrastructure failure. So if the problem is broken infrastructure, well, the solution has to be new infrastructure, right? And that's where this idea of the synergy engine comes in. Now, think of this less like a specific app you download and more like a whole new blueprint for how we can work together. Okay, I know that sounds pretty academic, but the core idea is actually super intuitive. A synergy engine is just a system that's designed to support the way our brains actually collaborate in big groups. It's built to help us manage our shared brain power, our distributed cognition, so we can cooperate on a whole other level. So how on earth does it do that? Well, it's all about these four key design principles. First, it makes all that invisible teamwork visible. Once you can see it, it becomes normal to accept that great ideas have many parents. And when that happens, that defensive ego contraction we talked about just naturally softens. But maybe the most revolutionary part? It treats psychological safety not as a nice-to-have HR initiative, but as a core piece of the plumbing, its actual infrastructure. Now, this all sounds amazing in theory, but let's get practical. How does it actually work? Well, the real magic is in how the synergy engine lets you see the entire life story of an idea unfold. The tech behind it is called a distributed lineage graph. Now, forget the jargon for a second. Just picture this. Instead of a Word doc with a single author's name at the top, imagine a living, breathing map, like a family tree for an idea. You can see exactly where it came from and every single contribution that shaped it. It's really pretty simple. An idea gets started, and boom, it's a node on the map. Then, as people add to it, challenge it, or connect it to something else, those actions become edges that link everything together. And over time, what you get is this amazing, totally transparent map of the idea's entire journey. The source material calls this making the connective tissue of collaboration visible, and I just love that phrase. By mapping every single link, every influence, the system makes sure that no work gets lost. Every contribution, big or small, is honored. This is how you put an end to invisible labor. And what you get is this. This is the big payoff. We finally move away from this broken zero-sum game of trying to pin a medal on one person. Instead, we shift to a model of networked recognition, where the entire group effort is seen, valued, and celebrated. So what happens when a team actually starts working this way? The impact is huge. It completely changes the game, shifting the focus away from who owns this to how did we all influence this? Just think for a second about how much energy we waste on office politics, on jockeying for credit, on worrying if our work is being seen. When the system itself makes recognition fair and transparent by default, all of that wasted energy is suddenly freed up. It can finally be poured back into what actually matters, solving problems and creating amazing things. And when that happens, you unlock this incredible phenomenon called swarm intelligence. It's that almost magical state where the group as a whole becomes way smarter than even its smartest member. The whole is truly greater than the sum of its parts. This image of a flock of birds is the absolute perfect metaphor for this. There's no single bird in charge, right? No CEO bird telling everyone where to go. Yet they move as one, a coherent, intelligent unit. By fixing the problem of individual recognition, the synergy engine allows human teams to tap into that same kind of collective flow and achieve real swarm intelligence. And the difference is, well, it's night and day. In our old systems, that attribution tension is always simmering, always high, dragging down morale and performance. But with a system like the Synergy Engine, that tension is basically engineered out of the equation, which allows trust and real cooperation to just happen. And this leads to what might be the most profound change of all. It changes how we see ourselves. We stop thinking of our value as being an isolated hero fighting for the spotlight. Instead, our identity expands. We start to see ourselves as a vital part of something much bigger, a living, evolving, collective intelligence. So, I'll leave you with this question to chew on. Right now, almost all of our tools are designed to reward the solo hero. But what could we create? What problems could we solve if our tools were rebuilt from the ground up to celebrate the entire network? That's a pretty exciting future to think about.